song before the lesson is going to be 290, number 290.
What's the sting?
Lord,
the light of your love is shining in the midst of the darkness shining. Jesus, light of the world, shine upon us. Set us free by the truth you now bring us. Shine on me. Shine on me. Shine, Jesus, shine. Fill this land with the Father's glory. Blaze, Spirit, blaze. Set our hearts on fire. Flow, river, flow. Flood the nations with grace and mercy. Send forth your word, Lord, and let there be light. Lord, I come to your awesome presence from the shadows into your radiance. By the blood I may enter your brightness. Search me, try me, consume all my darkness. Shine on me. Shine on me. Shine, Jesus, shine. Fill this land with the Father's glory. Blaze, Spirit, blaze. Set our hearts on fire. Flow, river, flow. Flood the nations with grace and mercy. Send forth your word, Lord, and let there be light.
If you would, please turn your Bibles to Matthew chapter 5. I'll be reading from verses 14 through 16. Matthew chapter 5, verses 14 through 16. You are the light of the world. A city on a hill cannot be hidden. Neither do people light a lamp and put it under a bowl. Instead, they put it on its stand, and it gives light to everyone in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before men, that they may see your good deeds and praise your Father in heaven.
Hello. Well, when I was thinking about what to talk about this morning, well, a lot of things popped up. I really wanted to preach on a Sunday morning just to get the experience and just so I could teach a bunch of people at once. But when it came down to it, I decided to teach something that I would probably need to hear. So, you've all probably seen a puzzle like this, right? If not, they're pretty cool. I loved them in elementary school. There's a big picture with a bunch of small pictures in it. And the point is to find all the small pictures hidden in the big picture. But sadly, as Christians, I feel we are like this picture sometimes. We're in the big picture, and we're different than the big picture. But we don't stick out. In fact, you have to look for us to even notice we're in the big picture. That's not how it should be. We should be like neon outline, blowing up the whole screen, changing the whole picture. That's what we should be. But Christians today, we think that being different, just enough to be different, that's okay. We don't need to stick out. We convince ourselves that that's good enough. But I got a news flash. It's not. Let's go back to the very beginning of time. What was the first thing God created? Was it the earth? No. Before anything, He created light, because without it, there could be no life. It is the same way in our Christian life. We need God's light to live. So, we all know the song, "This Little Light of Mine," right? We probably know the 3 main verses of it. But, what do they mean? What are they talking about? Is it just a fun VBS song that can get you moving and moving your finger around in circles? I think it talks to all Christians powerfully. Let's just go through the song and we'll see. The first verse of the song, "This little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine." This verse, it isn't talking about the church. It is talking about you. When you're saying this, you're saying you're going to let your light shine and not rely on other people to do it. Not just let Bob or Michelle or my dad or anyone else lead the church. You're saying that you're letting your light shine and there is no excuses. Next verse says, "Hide it under a bushel." No, I'm going to let it shine. Have you ever noticed why we yelled no? Because it should offend us. It should offend us to even think about hiding the light that God has given us. We're given it for a reason, not so we can just hide it or show it at church. God gives us this light so we can go out into the world and knock your socks off because we're so stinking bright. God speaks pretty lowly of people who know what to do, but they don't share it. James 4:17 says, "Anyone then who knows the good he ought to do and doesn't do it sins." Please, just don't be that person. We are told to flood the world with light, so let's do it. And now for the last verse, which can be pretty hard at times. Don't let Satan poof or blow it out. I'm going to let it shine. Newsflash here. This is Satan's job. He sits around 24/7, 365 days a year, since the beginning of time, trying to blow out our light. He'll tell you all sorts of things. He'll tell you, "Oh, you're not worthy of a light. Look at all you've done in your life. You don't even deserve to have a light, much less share it. What are you thinking? You're a terrible person. You are not worthy." Or you'll try to let your light shine and get rejected. You'll get knocked down and you'll let your light go out. Bad things can happen in your life and you didn't deserve it. Why, God? Why did this happen to me? I didn't do anything. You'll start blaming God and eventually you'll let your light go out. But I got something to say that sounds pretty harsh. So what? Bad things, they happen to everyone. They happen to me, they happen to Coulter, they happened to Jesus Christ. I want you to think about this. Darkness, in reality, is the absence of light. Evil is the absence of God. Darkness, in reality, is the absence of light. Evil is the absence of God. They go hand in hand. But continuing on, did Jesus ever let his light go out in his whole life? After all that hated him, his family hated him, they rejected him, his friends left him, he was beaten, he even died. But not one time in his whole life did he hide his light. Nowadays, we are worried about the dumbest stuff. What will people think about me? Will people not like me anymore? Will that